In research, certainly on bilingualism right now, there's a lot of focus on the positive aspects, even enhanced cognitive abilities, etc. So we tend to not want to think about the fact that bilingualism can be hard. I was a bilingual kid. I live in a bilingual setting right now. My children do. And I am aware of some of the difficulties that you can run into, and that's what we see in the schools. We see some of the bilingual kids struggle. We also see some of them being very successful. So what I would really like to do with my research is to find ways to make the environment of bilingual kids as optimal as possible so that they succeed. A very novel finding of my work that I've done here at the school is the finding that when we compare children who have been bilingual from birth versus who are first bilingual when they enter school, it doesn't matter how old they were when they started. What matters a lot more is how much exposure they've had to each of their languages. Another area that I study is language impairment in children, and in that respect, I make a lot of comparisons between children who speak English, children who speak French, and children who speak Icelandic. And those are languages that differ in their structure. And it turns out that certain patterns that we see very commonly in English, such as difficulty with grammatical morphemes, we don't see at all in Icelandic, even though Icelandic is much more complex in this respect. So it's a bit counterintuitive. And I also make a lot of comparisons between children who are bilingual and children who have language impairment, because those children, they are a bit behind in their learning of each of their languages, but for different reasons. So it's interesting to compare the impacts of dividing your time between two languages and of simply being a slower learner of language overall. For me, working in Montreal is very interesting because of this very unique linguistic context that we have, where we have two majority languages side by side. And that allows me to control a lot of factors in the bilingual situation, because bilingual people, they tend to have other factors such as that they're recent immigrants, they're settling down, they're looking for jobs, etc. So there are differences other than just the language. And in Montreal, you don't have that. So compare that to the Icelandic context, where all of my bilingual people are new immigrants. That allows me to compare two very, very different situations. So what is important about the research is to find out how to fix those environments that are not ideal for the kids.